Board of Trustees with the campus and district improvement plans. Dr. Perez? Oh, never mind. Let me call roll, please. Jerry Zamora? Veronica Mendoza? No? Petra Ramirez? Patricio Caño Olivares? Here. Charlie Garcia?
Here.
Dr. Sonia Trevino? And myself. We have 5 in attendance. Dr. Perez?
Yes, ma'am. We do have a presentation to the board, and it is the campus and district improvement plans. Dr. Roberts?
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Pettis. This evening, we will continue with our campus improvement plans. As you recall, last week during the board workshop, we had half of our campuses presenting. This week, we will have the other half of our campuses presenting. This is in compliance with Title I, Part A funds of the federal law that states that the board does have to approve all of our campus improvement plans. And so without further ado, I will turn it over to Ms. Risica to introduce each of the principals as they present. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Roberts. I'm going to be sharing my screen. Good evening, Madam President, members of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Pettis. Dr. Roberts stated the additional 11 campuses that will be presenting their campus improvement plans. And then we'll have Dr. Roberts follow up with the district improvement plan. And after that, we will be asking the board for your approval. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And our first presentation tonight will be from Veterans Memorial High School Principal, Mr. Fidel Garza. Mr. Garza?
Thank you, Mrs. Risica. Good evening, Madam Board President and members of our board. Also, good evening, Dr. Pettis. Thank you for this opportunity that you're giving us to showcase our campuses, to give you the state of our campuses, and also to show and to talk about our next opportunities that we'll be working on for the rest of the year. So we're going to start off with the data that I have is for last year, since we didn't have the year prior, rather, since we didn't test. So under academic student achievement, as you recall, we had a B, a positive, we did have positive EOC scores for the past 2 years in the areas of algebra, English 1, biology, and U.S. history. We did receive a distinction in social studies with respect to AP/IB examination, participation in advanced dual credit completion. In ELA, we had accelerated student progress in ELA, reading, English 1 performance at the master's grade level. With math and science, we had advanced dual credit completion, and in social studies, we had AP and IB examination participation and advanced dual credit. And in post-secondary readiness, CCMR, we're in quartile 1 with C3 coherent sequence graduates. A second strength that we had for the second year in a row, Veterans Memorial High School was ranked one of the top high schools in the nation, according to the USA and World News Report school rankings. With regards to nationwide, VMHS was ranked at 6,533 out of 24,000 high schools. Statewide here in the state of Texas, VMHS was ranked 531 out of 3,240 high schools. And there for your review as well as our scorecard, this is what they went ahead and they ranked us on. We had an overall score of a 63.28. We had 49% of our students take at least one AP exam. We had 14% of our student body pass at least one AP exam. 80% of our students were mathematics proficient. 57% were reading proficient, and 92%, we had a 92% graduation rate. Moving on then to our campus needs and priorities. These are our opportunities for growth at Veterans Memorial High School. With academic student achievement, under staff development, we will continue student achievement growth. That is in regards to state testing. EL strategies and SPED IEP implementation will to increase student population performance in the STAR EOC exams, DELPAS, TSI, SAT, and ACT. Continue with RTI, dyslexia, and 504 programs. With respect to ELA, SAT reading and writing scores, we were a quartile 2. Math, accelerated student progress, quartile 2. Science, AP and IB participation, quartile 2. And social studies, EOC master's grade level, quartile 3. Our attendance rate, we're working at 95% per recording period. Continuing with our campus need and priorities, we were our target campus for in the area of SPED, meets grade level or above. And what you see here is our last few years, 2017 through 19. The target for reading is at 19%. We have increased steadily over the last few years from 9% to 15%, but once again, the target is 19%. For math, our target is 23. We fluctuated a little bit, 13%, 22%, and then 11%. And then for graduation of our SPED students, the target is 8%. We've fluctuated again, 86%, 84%, and 80%. The MHS will work on campus targeted improvement plans, steering specific areas. We'll focus on data-driven instruction, objective-driven daily lesson plans with formative assessments, and curriculum and assessment aligned to TEKS with a year-long scope and sequence. Another area that serves both as a strength and priority was our DELPA's performance. We have a comparison here from 2019 and last year, 2020. From the previous year to last year, we had 317 students that tested 243 kids. Total students that needed to take 36%. We needed 114 back in 2019. We needed 123 last year. Total students attained, that's the third bar graph, with listening, speaking, and reading. That was a significant jump. In 2019, we had 32 students that obtained in those three areas. Last year, we had 107. And you can see the last percentage that we had there went up from 10% to 20 to 31%, which is a jump of 1%. Lastly, I'll share my academic goals, SMART goals for the campus. During the 2020-21 school year, VMHS will continue to improve academic performance across content areas by 10%, with gains for all student populations, led targeted SPED in the areas of reading, math, and graduation, GT, EcoDis, through targeted instruction, data-driven interventions, leveraging of campus support systems, progress monitoring and teacher development, such as POCs, professional development, T-tests, goal attainment, etc. VMHS will continue with staff development, campus initiatives, collaboration with central office personnel to see the following academic goals are met. In ELA, increase advanced dual credit from 14.6% to 15.2%. In SPED, target again, the reading is 19, math target is 23, graduation, our target is 90%. In math, increase AP/IB examination participation from 5.5% to 6.2, and increase the math average SAT score from 474 to 494. Either of these will earn us a distinction. In science, increase AP examination participation from 13.8 to 15.6 to earn a distinction. And in post-secondary readiness, increase the four-year graduation rate to earn a distinction. Increase in DELPAS from 31, the target is 36, but our goal is a 40%. And in addition, VMHS will continue to work on student attendance to a goal of 90% per reporting period for this coming school year.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gardner.
Okay, excuse me for interrupting, but I'd like to let the president and Ms. Gallardo know that Ms. Betty Mendoza was having technical difficulties, but she has been able to join the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Perez. So we will now continue with our presentations, and next we'll have from Mission Junior High School Principal, Mr. Adan Ramirez.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, and Dr. Perez. Thank you again, as Mr. Garza said, for the opportunity to present our CIP, a quick brief summary of our strengths and our areas of opportunity. We began with our strengths. I would like to commend our campus on our Closing the Gaps improvement on TELPAS. This 52% media proficiency is a combination of the 2019 writing scores in combination with current year. We had a 20% increase, and that is through the efforts of our early bird tutoring sessions and our WIN period. I'd also like to mention that our strengths in campus culture, our student discipline, from from 3 years ago, started with 451 disciplinary referrals, resulting in some sort of action code. The following year, came to 240, and before the pandemic closure, we were at 96. So we've done a lot of things with our students to ensure that they are performing culturally well and performing academically. We've also really embedded a schedule that allowed for our staff to have a PLC culture of communication and collaboration to ensure that the same prescription is going on in all classrooms. Our academics, we continue to show incremental growth. We did have a 90 in relative performance the past year, and we were a B+ with 5 distinctions. In terms of campus needs and priorities, it is no secret that our Achilles heel continues to be our attendance. We've averaged a 94.5 over the past 2 years. We did start strong in 2019, and then we felt a real big impact in December of 2019 due to various illnesses, all the way through March and the closures of schools. We have used and will continue to use scoreboards where teachers do post their ADA based on homeroom outside of the doors, and now we are going to include that in our remote learning environment where teachers will be posting their ADA on their classroom banners in Google Classroom. We will continue to use incentives. We did try to get a little bit creative, and we did create virtually unstoppable yard signs for those students who were showing perfect attendance through the remote learning. We also did give out various apparatuses that would assist them do the remote learning, such as keyboards and webcams and things of that nature. We also continue to look at academic growth for our EL students. These students already have a gap when it comes to in-person instruction, and we are going to start utilizing our win period during our remote learning embedded in tutorial schedules. Our enrollment for the first time has become an area of opportunity. In May of 2019, we were up by 36 students in terms of enrollment. In May of 2020, we were only down 9, but this year, during October, we are down 53 students. We are aware that some students maybe did move due to the pandemic, but we are also aware that other students did enroll in neighboring charter schools. We have already started to utilize our AROs and counselors to reach out to these families to promote our academic accolades and our extracurricular successes to try and recruit them back to Mission Junior High. It is with these steps that we intend and anticipate to meet our academic SMART goals and increase our attendance rate from 94.7 of last year to a 97%. We do intend to increase our enrollment to at least 830 students. We are 28 students away from that goal by the end of this school year. And we want to ensure that our English language learners demonstrate academic growth through the following: 64% in ELAR reading and 68% in math to meet the Domain 3 requirements. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. We will continue now with the principal at Rafael Cantu STEAM and World Language Academy, Mr. Angel Torres. Mr. Torres, are you with us?
Good evening, Dr. Perez, distinguished board members, and esteemed colleagues. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to present our Rafael Cantu's CIP for the school year. I would like to start by thanking the board members for bringing the Halloween spirit to the school board meeting. I'm thinking that was planned. So let's talk about our strengths. Overall campus rating of B, reading and post-secondary readiness distinctions earned, reading and writing star scores at or above district average, targeted accelerated instruction incorporated into the student's daily schedule, strong robotics and theater arts programs, and similar to many of our sister campuses, high teacher retention rate, which is a testament to the good job that CISD is doing in retaining teachers. Next slide, please. Now let's talk about our needs and priorities. A focus on the success of English learners in the areas of achievement and progress through the execution of effective differentiated instructional practices. Maintain 97% or better attendance average. Establish and facilitate the growth of virtual instruction as dictated by community needs. Implement opportunities for students to learn Chinese and French as part of the World Language Program. Grow the STEAM program through applicable training, resource acquisition, and curriculum development. And support fine arts program at Feeder Elementary Fine Arts Academy to increase membership. Similar to other campuses, it's no secret that we have struggled for years with the enrollment at Rafael Cantu. So we figured that if we want to entice children to come to Rafael Cantu and not consider our neighboring IDEA campuses, that not only will we do things to support Salinas Elementary, which is a fine arts academy, but in doing that, that our students have in mind that whenever they leave elementary, they want to come to us because they know the coaches, because they know the theater arts teacher, because they are part of a theater arts a play, because they're part of the band. So it's, I think, a benefit for both Salinas Elementary and for us. So with that, academic SMART goals. Teachers will differentiate instruction by incorporating Teach Like a Champion strategies in weekly lessons in order to ensure a 7% increase in academic success for all English learners and students with disabilities on their 2021 state assessments. Now, something to say about that. When we incorporate strategies to increase the vocabulary of all our students, to increase the reading ability of all our students, of the LEP students and the special ed students, we're going to inevitably increase that in all our population. Next goal, our students will meet 97% ADA during synchronous and asynchronous instruction through the implementation of an incentive program. So far, we are doing well, and we are on target to receive the $4,000 incentive just in time for Halloween. Now, next goal, band, choir, and theater arts will provide weekly synchronous lessons to 4th and 5th grade students at Salinas Elementary. We will ensure that 40 students successfully complete a world language course, Chinese or French, during the 2021 school year. Hopefully, as we're anticipating that we're going to service more students through our world language program than 40. That is all I have. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share our CIP.
Thank you, Mr. Torres. We will move on now to Ms. Sylvia Garcia, Principal at Alton Memorial Junior High. Ms. Garcia?
Good evening, Dr. Perez, Madam President, board members, and ladies and gentlemen. At Alton Memorial Junior High, our strengths for the last year or couple of years, we've always had our ELA and our reading distinction. We went ahead and got one in 2019. Our science distinction, we're very proud of our 8th grade students and our science teachers. Every single year they have earned a science distinction. Our algebra students are also at a 98, hopefully this year 100% master's level. Also, we have such a highly qualified staff and they're very dedicated. We have a very low turnover. And during this challenging time of virtual teaching, they are doing such an outstanding job of building relationships with our students and engaging them in lessons on through Google Classroom. Every year, we always have a high UIL participation and also a high state qualifiers that are going to TMSCA. So once we have UIL back, that's something that we're looking forward to this coming year also. Under band and choir, we also receive the highest awards. We have students that go to all region and also our choir that get sweepstakes, the males and the female choirs. We do have our campus needs and priorities. This year, of course, we are generating engaging virtual lessons through Google Classrooms, different programs, whether it's Nearpod, just different lessons that our teachers are working on, and they're collaborating, working together. Our focus, of course, has to be for reading and math, and this is for our special ed students and our EL students. We need to establish strategies and provide incentives to improve our student attendance. In order to improve our student attendance, that's going to help across the board in all our core areas and also in getting more distinctions. We do need to provide staff development, resources, and materials for all of our special programs. And our need and priority is to increase our master's level in all testing areas. Our SMART goals. We do need to increase the meets level on our STAR from a 39 to a 45% by the end of the year. Our masters on STAR, we will go from a 17 to 25%. We do need to improve our 7th grade writing scores by 10%. by the end of the testing era time, and that is being accomplished through mission rights and our lessons and our teams working together. We are promoting student attendance to meet our 97% goal every grading period. We do need to improve our TELPA scores by 10% to the next level, from beginner to intermediate, from our intermediate to advanced, and our advanced to advanced high by the end of the TELPA's calendar. We are, our next slide. We are a targeted, supported improvement campus, so we do know that we need to focus on our data-driven instruction. We need to make sure that our teachers are looking at our data, are making instructional decisions on grouping students. We also need to make sure that our lessons are driven for formative assessment, and we are looking for that data. We do need to meet our reading target for all students at a 44%. Our math target for all students will be at a 46%, and achieve our TELPAS target of 36%. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. We will now begin with our elementary campuses, and the first campus is Captain Joaquin Castro Elementary, presented by Principal Araceli Escalona. Ms. Escalona?
Hi, good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Perez, and esteemed colleagues. I'll be thanking once again for the opportunity to present our campus data, and we'll start with our strengths. Our campus strengths, we did have an increase in math performance, writing and science in 2019, writing from 9% to 16%, and science from 2020, which actually gave us an insight of hopefully earning a distinction coming up very soon, hopefully within this year. Another of our campus strengths is communication. We are meeting with the SPOCs and we check with teachers. Our admin teams meets with teachers weekly and daily on a weekly basis to ensure that we're in communication with everything having to do with remote instruction and the data that we have from the students. We also have a really big focus on our policies and really emphasizing the communication and collaboration among the campus. Technology is another one of our strengths. We did have pretty much a one-to-one Chromebooks for students when we first started the school year, and now with all the iPads and everything that the district provided as well, we're a lot stronger in that area as well. Under campus needs and priorities, student achievement is something that we strive to improve. By the end of this school year, we would have different things in place that we have already started to ensure that our achievement gap starts to close. Student enrollment, also we are 17 students. There was a decrease of 17 students this year as compared to last year. Starting the school year, we are trying to reach out as well with our FAEs, liaisons, and our arrows to try to capture those students back to Castro. And under campus culture, we are implementing Teach Like a Champion. We, at the beginning of our school year, we did have some campus PD where we embedded the TEAA modules that could Teach Like a Champion. So we are continuing with those. Also with our weekly check-ins and throughout our walkthroughs, we make sure that our techniques are always embedded in everything we do, from the delivery instructions to planning, and try to ensure that these best practices are practiced every day. Under students, we are continuing to improve student culture. We are introducing a leader me process. So we do plan to fully implement a leader me process by the start of the next school year. We are starting with book studies and introducing the language to try to ensure that culture is shifted to where it's now. Under academic SMART goals, we will increase the main one skills for 10% at the end of the school year by STAR assessments. We will also increase the main 3 skills score by 12 points at the end of the academic school year. And we do want to maintain the 98% or higher in attendance. It's not happening right now due to different circumstances. We are trying to go out there and make those home visits with phone calls daily, and using again our ARO, our space liaison, and sometimes even ourselves making those home visits. We want to increase student enrollment by 20 students by the end of this academic school year as well. Under the campus targeted improvement plan goals, under reading, we want to increase overall reading scores from 66 to 75% by the end of this school year by establishing a reading block, an uninterrupted reading block with focus on the 5 elements of reading. And under math, we want to increase our math scores from 71% to 80% at the end of this school year with the implementation of Course Imagine Math and also introducing our math minutes and morning announcements to build number fluency. Under House Bill 3, Early Childhood Literacy Proficiency Plan, third grade students at score meets or above on STAR reading will increase from 30 to 35% by the end of the school year. The percent of pre-K students that score on grade level above SPC PALS will be maintained at 98% by the end of the school year. The percent of kindergarten students that score on grade level or above in reading will increase from 71 as per the STAR Junior Assessment to 73, utilizing our new MPLAS data by June 2021. The percent of first and second grade students that score on grade level or above in reading will increase from 90% on our STAR Junior Assessment to 91% using the MPLAS data by the end of the school year as well. For the math proficiency plan, third grade students that score at meets or above will increase from 53% to 55% by the end of the school year. The percentage of pre-K students that score making acceptable or adequate progress on the circle and end of the year overall mathematics diagnostic will be maintained at 100%. The percent of students in kinder that score 70% or above at the end of this year, the district year takes a mathematics diagnostic, which is Imagine Math, will increase from 88 to 90 by the end of the school year. And the percentage of first or second grade students that score 70% or above will increase from 81 at the end of the year. STAR rating math diagnostic to 83%, and again utilizing the end of the year Imagine Math assessments. And that is it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Escalona. We're going to our next elementary campus is 7 Steve Salinas Jr. Elementary Fine Arts Academy.
It might help if I unmute myself, right? Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Carol Perez. This evening, I'll be presenting the campus improvement plan for our campus. Next. Ms. Rissica. Ms. Rissica, can you hear me? Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and present without the slides because, can everybody hear me? Okay. Because I don't think the presentation is working. So I'll go ahead and get started with the campus strengths. Our campus has done very well in the past few years. We've gotten a great rating before this prior end of the school year. We also got six distinctions, but that's not where that's not our only strengths. We have other strengths as well. For example, our campus, our professional staff has received monthly staff developments during the 2019-2020 school year to develop, enrich, and implement the fine arts activities in the language arts, science, and social studies curriculum. We have had extensive training this past school year that's really helped our students develop and prepare for implementing and integrating a stronger fine arts curriculum. Also, we have a very strong parental involvement participation program, and we currently are planning multiple opportunities for parental involvement in schools and classes. Also, we do have virtual lessons that are being delivered both live and on campuses daily with an excellent participation rate for our campus. Also, we have the assigned detainees recovery officers assisting campus for campus daily attendance and participation. And the attendance related issues, our AR is doing a real good job of homes and helping us to participate virtually, live, and asynchronous. Some of our campus needs or the needs and priorities include the improvement of reading writing stars for both English and dual language students. Although we have done well, of course, not as good as I want to, teachers want to. So that is one of our current needs. We want to continue to ensure that all students, including special education students and English language subjects, participate in federal expected accountability targets. We also want to ensure that no student regresses academic level. And it's going to be a challenge this year because we have had the kids out for, over 4 months. So it is going to pose a big challenge for us, but we're already looking at where they're at. We're segregating data. We're analyzing data as it's coming in and determining what are the areas we need to focus on to get better. So we're also one of our needs is attendance / this year, and again, enrollment is also a big issue on our campus. We have 365 students enrolled in Salinas, which is very low. The area is it's just the kids have grown up and they're in high school. There's really not a lot of kids after pandemic. But I know that some parents say they're going to have members of their families pretty soon, so that's exciting. That means more kids for Salinas in the future. So we're really excited, welcoming all our new kids. But that is an issue. I wish that we could rezone the area just so that we could have a few more kids, because that really puts us in a difficult group when it comes to being compared to other campuses in the state. So now I'm going to go into the academic SMART goals, and one of our academic SMART goals is that minimum 95% of the students at Salinas Elementary will be reading fluency and on the level by the end of the 2020-2021 school year. That's really that we want to achieve. We've been working very hard at developing skills and assisting the students with developing their reading and their fluency. I know we're excited because we have a new curriculum for phonics, our lower grade, so that's also very exciting. We're wanting to maintain the school's A rating in the 2020 state accountability by continuously monitoring instruction and providing feedback to teachers and students. We want to maintain our 6 out of 6 distinctions in state accountability by purposefully working with all students and subgroup populations to ensure that no one regresses, no one goes back, and that we only have progression, not just on the score, but on the test as well. And then we want to increase our student attendance At the end of the grading period, student attendance will be at least 98%, with no less than 98% overall attendance for the 2020-2021 school year. So those are our goals. In addition to those goals, we also have goals and plans for our early childhood literacy and our early childhood numerical proficiency. In literacy, percent of third grade students that score meets level or above on STAR reading will increase from 32% to 42% by the end of the year or after they've taken their STAR test. Also, the following goals will meet met in the early childhood literacy progress measure for kindergarten students that score reading and 70 adequate progress on the circle assessment at the end of the year. Overall reading diagnostic will increase from 96% at the end of May 2019 to 98% at the end of this year. So we're wanting to increase by 2%. Our students that score 70 or above on the STAR Junior Reading Assessment, want them to increase 88% to 93% using the MCAS end of year assessment data. Also, first and second grade students that score 70% or above on STAR Junior Assessment and the year, we would like to have will increase from 32% in May to 42% using the M-Class end of year assessment data. And then our early childhood math proficiency plan, that is the percent of third grade students that score meets grade level or above on STAR. We want that to increase from 64% to 70%. That has been a bit of a situation that we've been in for several years, that our third grade traditionally does a little bit lower, but we do want to, we have tried to implement a lot of strategies to increase in that area. And our goal is to increase it at least by 6%. The following goals will be met in early childhood math progress measure 1. Pre-kinder students making acceptable or adequate progress on circle at the end of the year. Overall math diagnostics will increase from 76% to 85%. Our kinder students will increase from 95% to 98%. And our first and second grade students that score 70% or above on the STAR reading assessment end of year will increase from 40% in May to 70%. And that is quite a bit of a challenge, but we are looking into addressing those needs that our students have in math. So with that said, that concludes my presentation. I want to thank you all for, being patient with me because I was having to flip the papers out here. But thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present the CIP, and I'd like to wish everyone a great evening.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Ms. Garcia, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, I can.
And you're able to see your presentation?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we apologize for that.
Okay, as long as you all heard me, I'm okay.
Yes, ma'am, we did. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue with the presentations. And up next, we have Miss Linda Sanchez, who is the principal at Alton Elementary. Ms. Sanchez, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can. Go ahead.
Good evening, Dr. Perez, Madam President, board members, and esteemed colleagues. I will be presenting the Campus Improvement Plan for Alton Elementary. Campus strengths, A accountability rating, 6 distinctions in academic achievement in English language arts, mathematics, science, academic growth, closing the gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Meets and masters steadily has progressed and was currently at in 2019 at 59% in meets and in masters 35. Our goal being for it to get to 68% in the meets and 37% in the masters. a Leader in Me school for 4+ years. And they were recently rewarded the Lighthouse status because of how they have actually transformed the school in the last 4 to 5 years and have created well-rounded learners by developing their whole person and preparing our students to become life-ready learners. Then they have captured the Lighthouse accolade, which is a certificate which is highly regarded standard by Franklin Covey that is only attainable by a school that actually, I'm a leader in my school and I practice. I'm a model of what it stands for. So they received that accolation. It's a PLC model school that was also another accolade that they received that was given by Solution Tree for their continuous commitment of high levels of learning for their patriots or our patriots. It's also a school that has book studies for academic and campus culture. And it's not just about having a book study, it's whatever book study they actually utilize it in how they prepare their lessons and how they carry the campus culture. It's not just a book that you read and you put down. It is, they actually utilize their books, their hallways represent what they read, their conference rooms, everything that you see, they live and breathe what they're actually studying. So that is a great campus strength that we have on the campus, and that's kudos to Mr. Ramirez and Mrs. Escalona that Mr. Ramirez started and Mrs. Escalona has continued, and it is evident. Other strengths that I did not put on there that we do have is the enrollment that has increased to 32. We are losing a few students because of COVID-19 and situations that are changing where they have to move. And another campus strength that in preparing that I failed to put on there was the TLAC, the implementation of the TLAC, the WIN, and the 4D plans, which has worked wonderfully for this campus and allowed it to have the growth and the progress that it has. Campus needs and priorities on attendance. Right now, we're running between 92 and 96%, so it is a great concern. So we are working on different incentives, doing home visits, doing everything that we can to be able to bring our students in, offering the on-campus learning for virtual learning also, especially on those students that have a lot of absences. Our fluency reading levels after the data that we recently acquired for fluency and STAR, we are noticing that we do need to work on it. Monitoring our fifth graders that we have, because when they took their assessment in third grade in 2019, they were at a 22%. So they didn't meet the indicator score for that distinction, but the other grade levels were able to capture it for us. So we are monitoring them also. Monitoring our special populations in domain 3, because that's an area that we wish to capture 100%. Continue to maintain our meets and masters so that we can go from our 59% that we had in 2019 to 68%, and our masters from a 35 to a 37%. Address the gaps in the learning due to COVID-19. Provide staff development for remote learning, for technology, interactive programs in order to engage our patriots so that they can join our live sessions. So we have our Techno Wednesdays that we have every Wednesday so that we can develop our staff, provide them with the training they need for the programs that are being offered, Nearpod, Google Breakout Rooms, Jamboard, just any of the programs that we can use to engage our students so that they can come on to our live sessions. Parent technology trainings also, so that we can turn around and offer them troubleshooting opportunities and then allow them to see what our students are having to also experience so that they have that knowledge. Our academic SMART goals increase student performance to 92% on state assessments with additional support and priority for specific areas. Targeted populations as assessed by STAR at the end of the school year. Our domain 1 to be 92%, our domain 2 to be 94%, and domain 3 to be at 100%. Evaluate and improve instructional support programs to meet the diverse needs of all students as per domain 3. Targets in reading and math at the end of the school year. Sustain and improve a targeted high-quality coordinated and professional development system for all educators by having staff participate in a minimum of 5 PD days throughout the academic year as appropriate. But due to the remote learning, we're having a lot more the staff development that we had at the beginning of the year that was offered by the district, and then we're continuing also on our campus. Use multiple sources of data, CBA benchmark STAR to assess, guide, and strengthen instruction as per campus goals, which are 92, 68, 37 as assessed by STAR at the end of the school year. For our early childhood literacy plan in pre-K, the assessment that was used in 2019 is CPALS and continues to be CPALS for 2021. Our goal is for them to have a 98% in 2019, and our goal is to go up to 99%. And of course, our plan in doing that is to ensure that we have our 40 action plans into place to ensure that we are focusing on the most important area that can show us the progress immediately. And so that way we can ensure that we are moving along, progressing throughout the year. In kinder, the assessment that was used in 2019 was STAR Junior. In 2021, it will be M class. 87% is what we had in 2019, and our goal for 2021 is to be at 89%. Our plan would be, of course, the literacy academies that our champions are attending, that the learning that they obtain there will help them in delivering their lessons. Benchmark reading, phonics, the fluency class, 40 action plans, win time. In first to second grade, the assessment that was used was STAR Junior in 2019. It will be M class for 2021. So it was 88% in 2019, and in 2021 it will be 85%. Again, our plan would be literacy academies, benchmark reading, phonics, fluency, M class, 40 action plan, win time in third grade for STAR was our assessment in 2019, will be our assessment in 2021. 44% needs for our students, and our goal is to get them at 47%. And of course, literacy academies, PLCs, 4D plans, and win time. For our math, in pre-K, our assessment was CPALS. In 2019, we were at 100%. It continues to be CPALS for the year of 2021, and we plan on maintaining the 100% plan 40 action plan. In kindergarten, it was STAR Ready Math Assessment 2019, and it will be Imagine Math for 2021. We were at a 98% in 2019. Our plan is to stay at 98% for 2021. Plan B, Imagine Math, pathways that we create on 40 action plans. In first and second grade, STAR Ready was used in 2019 as the assessment. And in 2021, it will be Imagine Math. In 2019, it was at a 73%. Our goal was at a 76%. Our plan is to use pathways to Imagine Math for the action plan. In third grade, STAR was used in 2019. They were at a 47%. Our goal is to be at a 49% in needs. And our plan is, of course, to create our pathways to Imagine Math. The trainings that they attend, the teachers are Patriots, PLCs, 40 plans, and tutorials. Thank you very much. May you have a great evening.
Thank you, Ms. Sanchez.
You're welcome.
We will now be moving on to General Elementary. presenting the campus improvement plan for Bryan is Ms. Joy Villalobos, principal at Bryan Elementary. Villalobos?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Riska. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Perez, Madam President, and colleagues. I want to thank you for this opportunity this evening. I'll be sharing our campus improvement plan. I want to begin with our campus strength. We have highly qualified and dedicated staff. It's always an honor to meet with them on a weekly basis and reflect on what's transpiring in the classroom. So I'm so proud to lead and be part of that. Of the campus. In addition to that, we have high student enrollment at this time. We're peaking at 650 students, and we're also recruiting. We're trying to bring those individuals, students that have moved to our neighboring districts, where we're trying to persuade our parents to come back to Bryan. It's been a challenge, but I know that we're not going to go down without putting up a fight. So we're hoping that our parents will come back to Bryan Elementary. Another strength is our technology. I mean, it's no secret. The mission is rich with technology. At our campus, we have smart boards, Chromebooks for students from first grade to fifth grade, tablets for pre-K 3, all the way to kinder. In addition to that, just early this school year, I bought several ladybugs for our staff. We had the old version, and it was not compatible to the Chromebooks. So because of the virtual learning, I was able to purchase 10, the first batch was 10 ladybugs, so we should be getting those any day. Also, we purchased webcams for our staff as well, so that when we have meetings and so forth, or for the teaching process, they also have that in place. In addition to that, another strength that is not noted in the slide, I'm proud to say that we virtually highlighted our barriers for the month of September. It was such a success. Our parents and our students were really thriving and excited to hear the celebrations that I want to continue trying to make Bryan as normal as it is in spite of the situation that we're in. So also we have virtual learning announcements, and I consider that a strength because I love to welcome our students every morning and walk into their homes and greet them every morning so we can have a good start every day. In addition to that, of course, I can't wait for our students to come back to the campus so that way we can enforce and the robotics, our choir, our DII sports. As a matter of fact, I spoke with my music teacher, and we're trying to have a virtual play. We're going to see how that works. So we're trying to make it as normal as possible at Bryan Elementary. Campus needs and priorities. Of course, attendance has been a struggle throughout the district, and Bryan Elementary, our goal is to be a 98% professional development. I'm a firm believer that we need to grow professionally, and we were able to have Madam Morales help us with the reading, integrated reading and writing. Now we're going to bring her for our fourth grade team to help us with the writing to strengthen that subject. In addition to that, science. We also, this week, as a matter of fact, we're going to bring Roger Gomez to help us unpack the science teaching. So we're excited to bring these individuals who have expertise in those areas to do so we can develop our teachers and therefore be able to portray those lessons to our students. Also, our need is closing the gap in domain 3, increase our monthly match from 60 and 30% in all subject areas, and also